How's everybody doing out there? This is Shafe with Shafer TV. Got a good video for you today. Put some hours in it. Checked out some numbers. Went over a lot of different things. Kind of hurt a little bit. Arm's still, messed up. With that being said, before I get into the video, if you guys could you like and subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you want to do next. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Let me know. Maybe we can hash it out in the comment section. All right, guys. So today the video I got for you is Erik Ten Hag and the case why he should be sacked. It is not the hardest case to make, if I'm being honest. However, because I'm an incredible individual and I'm fair and balanced, okay? First, I'm going to go over his last season, and I'm going to go over, not in great detail because we know exactly what it is, but I'm going to go over his last season. He had 62 games managed, which is quite a load, if I'm being honest. That's quite a bit. The reason being is he managed a full 6 in the FA Cup, a full 6 in the League Cup, and they went quite deep in the Europa League. Not to the end, but they went quite deep. And 38 Premier League games. So 62, he had 41 wins, 9 draws, and 12 losses, all in total last season. But the most important number, besides the League Cup win, the Carabao Cup win, was the fact that in league he averaged 1.97 points per game. 9 losses, 6 draws, 23 wins. Very solid season. It was good for third. Yes, we were a little bit lucky that some of the teams were not having the best of seasons and some of them had injury problems. We were very lucky. With that being said, 1.97 points per game is nothing to sneeze at. That's fantastic. He did a great job last season. With that being said, that's about as much positive as I can get. I guess you could say, okay, FA Cup final run last season and an FA Cup final run this season. But that's where everything ends. That's where all the good ends. And you could say that's great because 2 seasons, 3 cup finals. It sounds great. But once we talk about everything else, it might sound a little different to you. So let's go ahead and get into this. First of all, Erik Ten Hag has a 57.8% win percentage with United, which is also nothing to sneeze at. It's inflated quite a bit from last season. This season, not so great. His home record in league this season is 9 wins, 3 draws, and 5 losses. We have 28 goals scored at home and 25 goals given or against at home. So a +3 goal difference at home. And we're averaging 1.76 points per game at home. That is not good. That's not good enough. Not even close. Our away record is 7 wins, 3 draws, 7 losses, 24 goals for, and 26 goals against. So that is a -2 goal differential away from home. And we are averaging 1.41 points per game, which again, is not so great. That's not so great at all. So it equals out to 1.59 points per game. So we're at basically a 0.4 points per game drop from season to season. All right, that's not good. That's a pretty high drop off, especially after spending so much money in the transfer market. Yes, a lot of other things are at factor. Right now we're just talking numbers. Obviously, that's through 34 league games. It's pretty. To be honest with you, it's pretty balanced. 9 wins at home, 7 away, 3 draws at each, and 5 losses at home and 5 or 7 losses away. Pretty balanced, but it's pretty balanced in the sense that we're not that great, if that makes sense. And here is the kicker for everything. Our expected XG per game is 1.54, and our expected XG against is 1.72. Now, again, it's expected XG, and everybody can take analytics any way they want, but that's not good. That's not good at all. So, first and foremost, his record last season, what he did last season, and what he's done in the league, in the FA Cup this season, has been great. He's been doing well. He's doing quite well, making cup runs, winning a trophy last year, opportunity to win a trophy this year, even if it's a slim chance. However, he's also had terrible cup runs, such as the Champions League. We came last in our group, the first time ever that I think a English team has came last in the group. We've given up the most goals ever for an English team. We also scored the most goals, apparently. Losses to Galatasaray, losses to Chippenham. Just not good enough. We won 1 game in the Champions League, and I believe we lost 4. It's just not good enough. It was not good enough. It was embarrassing, matter of fact. With that being said, more on this season. Our top scorer in league is Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is always going to put up numbers. That's what he's done on United. He's always put up numbers. Whether or not you rate him as a good midfielder, one thing is for certain. He does create score actions, and he does create goals. Okay? And that's what he's done this year. And I believe our second leading scorer is Rasmus Højlund. So for all the people out there that talk all this stuff about Rasmus Højlund, somehow the guy does get goals. He doesn't get a lot of shots, and he doesn't get a lot of assistance at all, but he gets goals. All right? So the second thing I want to move on to is I want to move on to Erik Ten Hag's man management skills. Okay? One of the things that I've been hearing lately, and I've been hearing it a lot lately, is people using the fact that his former players, such as Onana, such as Martinez, Antony, we got a couple more in there, but he's people talking about these players wanting to come and actually play, Amrabat wanting to come and play for Erik Ten Hag, and that must show a sign that he's a good man manager. And I that couldn't be further from the truth. That it made me want to throw up when people have that opinion. Okay, so let's take Lisandro Martinez. Lisandro Martinez has been wonderful for us. I don't think one bit that Lisandro Martinez came to United because he wanted to follow Erik Ten Hag. I think Lisandro Martinez was being paid 20,000 euros at Ajax, and I think United offered him 120,000 euros a week. Okay? That's a ridiculous amount of money more than he was making, and of course you make that move. Regardless of the coach, you make that move. Of course you do. You'd have to be an idiot not to. Okay, let's move on to Andre Onana. Champions League Golden Glove Andre Onana showed the world last year why he was so good. Fast forward this year. Everybody says he wants to come because of Ten Hag. I don't believe that. I believe he was being paid 60,000 euros to play at Inter, and I believe United offered him twice that at 120,000 euros. You will always make that decision to come. You're being paid twice the amount of money. You have a family. You want to feed them. You want to give them a better life. It's a no-brainer. Okay? The same could be said for Antony. Antony comes over to United. Oh, he wants to follow Erik Ten Hag. Negative. Antony was being paid 25,000 euros a week at Ajax. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He is now being paid 200,000 euros a week at Manchester United. Of course you make that decision. Of course you come. It is 8 times the amount of money that you were making over there. Of course you do. Malacia, the same could be said for him. He was being paid around 10,000 euros. Now he's being paid 50 or 60 or something in that range. The same could be said for Højlund. The same could be said for Amrabat. Amrabat was making 32,000 at Fiorentina. Now he's making 62,000 at United. Come on, guys. This is stupid. Stop thinking that these players are going to be following a manager because they love him or whatever. That's not the case. Money talks in this game. Money talks. It's the way it is. Next, I want to get on to the De Jong debacle. This debunks any thought that he's a man manager. If De Jong really wanted to play for Erik Ten Hag, and he really was the man manager that people say, or people are trying to say he was, De Jong would have no problem leaving Barcelona and coming to United. Of course, United would have found a way to pay him the money that Barcelona owes him, or at least a portion of it. And of course, we could match and probably exceed the wages that he's making at Barcelona. It is obviously not out of the realm that we would exceed those wages, okay? It had nothing to do with the wages. De Jong is making a cool, I think it's either 250 or 300,000 euros a week over there at Barcelona. And coming to United, he probably would have got a pay bump, but he does not want to play under this manager. That is very simple to understand. And if you don't understand that, I don't know how to help you. Read the writing on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. The dressing room. Ten Hag has lost it at various points in the season. He plays favorites. No doubt he plays favorites. I understand that. Managers at this point in their careers and at this point in the season, they're going to have their favorites and they're going to be playing favorites. Of course, it's just natural. However, you cannot let the whole team know that, and you cannot let the whole team feel unfavored. Okay? The Sancho debacle, whether you agree that Sancho should come back or not, I personally do not care whether you agree or not. The whole debacle was just an absolute joke. As far as a few short months later, Rashford is out drinking and misses training because he's hungover, and all of a sudden he misses one match and it's all gravy, it's all fine. Garnacho likes a couple tweets. He apologizes for it. Everything is fine. It's because Erik Ten Hag needs them. He needs them. He didn't need Sancho at the beginning of the year. He has Rashford. He has Garnacho. He has Sancho. He has Diallo. He has Forsen. He was like, okay, you're not performing for me anyhow. I don't need you. You're disrespecting me. Get out. I understand that. However, it all leads to a toxic culture in that dressing room. Also, last and not least, with his man management, he seems to fall out with a lot of the veteran players such as Casemiro and Varane. And I did hear this the other day, and I agree with it in its entirety. If you fall out with somebody like Raphael Varane, then you must have something really, really wrong with you. Raphael Varane is one of the most soft-spoken players there is in football. So to fall out with him, you must really, really have some shit going on. All right? The third thing I want to get to, he is gaslighting the media and the fans, and it is just disgusting. It is disgusting that he gaslights us like this. I think a couple of days ago he said that Manchester United was the most exciting and dynamic attacking team in the Premier League, or even in Europe, I think he might have said. That is just absolutely disgusting. How could you possibly say something like that? What a joke. I mean, that's disgusting, man. Not just that, it's a lot of things that's going on with him. He's for the last 2 months, these press conferences have been getting really weird, and we all watch the games. We all see what's going on the field, and he's describing it like something else is happening out there, and it's quite disturbing, to be honest with you. It really is. Listen, Ten Hag, all we want for you to do is just tell us the damn truth, okay? We see the play's bad. We see that the players are downing tools at times. We see all this. Just tell us the truth, man. Give it to us. You can sugarcoat it a little bit, but give it to us. Give us the truth. Don't gaslight us. Don't gaslight us anymore. The fourth thing, his tactics. Well, for one, the easy way to do this is to say that his tactics are horse shit, but at the same time, we really don't know if his tactics are going to work, because it is true, because of injuries and because of the not being able to get some of the right signings, he hasn't been able to fully implement his style or stamp his style on this team. That is a fact. With that being said, after 400 million, you probably should be able to implement your style on this team. And Ten Hag has not been able to do that. Yes, I'm fully aware of the injuries to some of our main players, some of our starting 11. I'm fully aware of that, and I'm fully aware that some of the players that he brought in has not been what we've hoped for. With that being said, that's on him, man. That's on him. I mean, how do you take the blame away from the guy that brought him here and paid for them? I mean, I don't understand that. You know, I'm a father. If something like that was going on and I was the one who paid for it and then it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out, well, obviously it was my decision, so the fault lies with me. How is the fault not lying with the manager on this? How are some people seriously trying to spin it in any other direction besides where it really lies? Okay? 400 million in, I believe, 3 or 4 transfer windows. He's brought in Mount, Amrabat, Højlund, Anthony, Onana, Martinez, Malacia, a couple others. To be honest with you, Onana has been banging along this season. He started off atrociously. He's been doing quite well now recently. Sometimes he's still a little bit at fault, but he's been doing quite well. Martinez has been a wonderful player for last season, and this season injuries and etc., and he just hasn't played. Højlund, I really do rate Højlund. I think that he's going to be a very good center forward for years to come. I just think that we need some players that can find some chemistry with him. Some players that are actually going to look for him in the box and not just take shots on their own. Anthony is just a waste of money and a waste of wages, and I believe we need to get him gone. But I don't think that we can, because $200,000. We paid $70 million for him, and I don't think that we'd get even $30 million for him at this point. Amrabat, I don't know what the reason for us bringing him in the first place. I mean, I get the understanding and I get the reasoning, but now after the season has played out and he's only made appearances in less than 10 games, I don't understand what the thinking was, especially doubling his wages. And Mason Mount has been hurt all year. Now, I think Mason Mount is a solid midfielder. I think he's a little bit of a spark. I think he works hard, and he works hard for any team he's going to be a part of. With that being said, he's been hurt all year. Malacia as well, so I can't really say too much about that. Once again, I believe Erik Ten Hag based this whole team and these tactics around Frenkie de Jong. And the fact that he didn't get him, he immediately should have shifted gears and went to work in a different tactic or a different form of his tactic, and he didn't. And again, that's kind of damning that Frenkie de Jong did not want to come. All right. Also in his tactics, at this point in the season, I think we can all see and I think we can all agree that his tactics are pretty for shite, but he's really just hoping for a moment of brilliance from one or two of his players to try to win these games. I think we can all see that. This is just Ollie Ball 2.0 with a little bit more possession at times. And it's if you guys can't see that at this point, the people that want him in, you really need help, man. Like, I mean, I don't want the manager to go. I never want to get rid of a manager, especially before his expiration date. But at a certain point, we're a big club. We're supposed to be the biggest club in the world. And at a certain point, you got to do what you got to do, and he's not doing it, so he's got to go. That's just the way the world works, all right? Last and not least, obviously, with the new upper management coming in, Ineos, they're cleaning house as we speak. They have swept away everyone in those upper management positions. And it would be uncharacteristic and silly to believe that they would keep a manager that they themselves did not choose. This shouldn't be news to anybody, okay? This is pretty standard for any type of business practice, okay? Obviously, they're trying to start a new project, especially with the news coming out that the whole first squad is up for sale with the exception of a few players. Obviously, the manager is going to be on his way out. There's no other way of interpreting that, okay? And they want to bring in their manager, whether they want to start with a build-up project manager or whether they want to bring in a big name like Zidane. I don't know. I have my preference, but I'm not sure what they're going to do. But again, whether Ten Hag is a good manager or not, I don't think that plays any part into what Ineos' decision. I believe that Erik Ten Hag's expiration date is the last game of this season, and once that's done, he's done. And to be honest with you, I believe that's the right move. I really do. He's not their manager, and he's going to go. That's just the way I feel about it, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm about 98% sure I'm right. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the video. I appreciate you guys giving it a watch. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. See you guys later.